right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. We have breaking news, and that news coming down just moments ago in the wake of the Ferguson grand jury deciding not to indict Officer Darrell Wilson in the death of Michael Brown. Here we are a couple of weeks later, and we see that a Staten Island grand jury, Staten Island is a borough in New York City, this long-awaited, much-anticipated grand jury decision is in, and they have voted not to bring criminal charges against the white New York City police officer at the center of the death of Eric Garner. And this was a situation, I think we have some B-roll, hopefully we could roll it. And this is a situation where you see the police trying to arrest Eric Garner, who is was a very large male. He was approached by police. What you don't see there first was they're standing around for a better part of a minute. The police officer wants to arrest Eric Garner, who they believed was selling cigarettes. They're called loosies, loose cigarettes. They're not taxed, etc. And so what happened was he said, "You're not going to arrest me. You're not touching me." He resisted arrest. So it's incumbent upon the police to arrest him. And so when you have a man who is well over 300 pounds, you see, I'm trying to look for the exact weight. I don't have that here at my disposal, but you could see from that video, it took a lot of police officers. And there was much talk about one of the holds put on Eric Garner by one of the police officers, Daniel Pantaleo. They call it a chokehold. They say it's outlawed. It's outlawed, not against the law in New York State. It's against police procedure. It's not a crime. So the grand jury took all that into consideration. They heard from the police officer. They heard from others. They heard from witnesses over the course of many, many months, and they decided no indictment of the police officers. Joining us right now is former Florida congressman, retired Army Lieutenant Colonel, and author of Guardian of the Republic, an American Ronin's Journey to Faith, Family, and Freedom. That is, of course, Alan West. Hello, Congressman. How are you, sir?
Hey, Steve. Greetings. I just landed in Midland, Texas. So
how
are you?
I'm good, and that, of course, is your new home for the time being because of your new responsibilities.
Yeah, I was out here in Dallas for the past couple of days, and now I'm on the way to Carlsbad, New Mexico, to speak at a prayer breakfast tomorrow morning.
Well, okay. One of the things you might be speaking about is how New York City reacts to this latest grand jury decision. I don't know how long you were on the phone, and that so-called NYPD chokehold case has come down. The grand jury voting not to indict the police officer, and everybody's bracing. What do you think might happen?
Well, I think that you're going to have a continuing circumstance of what you saw going on out in Ferguson, and especially you need to be concerned because New York City is the home to the ~1 race baiter and rabble-rouser, and that's Al Sharpton.
So you think he might play a more direct role in getting things started or revving things up?
Well, of course. I mean, you know that he's been sitting at the table with Mayor de Blasio there, and of course, he has tried to have an incredible, huge impact on the police operations in New York, and he's already held a rally that was up there in New York City, speaking against the New York Police Department. So I just expect the same thing.
And this situation, I don't know if the president and the attorney general are going to weigh in on this. But, when do the president and the attorney general have to say, hey, you know what? We've had grand juries. We've had people who have given of their time, who have done their civic duty, who have looked at these cases, and they have seen the evidence, all of the evidence. I have not, we have not, you have not, and we have to have faith and trust in what they've decided. Can those words ever cross the lips of the two most powerful black men probably in the world?
Well, that's going to be very difficult for them to do, Steve, because right now you don't have an adherence to the rule of law. You don't have a respect of the judicial process and our due process. And I think it's become a very politicized issue for the president and also for Eric Holder. And instead, I mean, they want to attack the law enforcement officers and agencies, and instead of standing up and saying, hey, look, this has gone through the right process, a grand jury has looked at this, and they determined that there was not the evidence to indict the officer. Now, of course, you can go down the path of a civil lawsuit, but then the standard of proof gets even higher there.
Well, civil lawsuit, yes. No, you mean civil rights lawsuit, but civil lawsuit would be just the family suing for monetary damages. And by the way, we should point out, and I think this speaks to the process, Congressman, that Trayvon Martin's family did not do that, because then all the past history of Trayvon Martin would come out. We're coming back. One more segment with Alan West. Just stay where you are, folks. We're coming back.